Hey everybody, my name is April and this is Thrifty Nerdy Mom. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So glad to see everyone. And so today's video is my first Loki ear video. We are kicking off Loki Wednesdays. So the series Loki has decided to come out on Wednesdays instead of Fridays, so we're going to be celebrating Wednesdays for a little bit. But before I get too far into that, please like and subscribe, join our family, especially if you love Loki. So honestly, I've been so pumped about this series. I've been pumped about like the WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki, like in general, but Loki is just low-key. Loki is honestly one of my favorites ever. Ranks right up there with Bucky, which Falcon Winter Soldier was like really for me, but Loki just has so many like looks and variants and stuff like that, so I figured I would make Loki ears every Wednesday, kind of do a Loki DIY ear thing. But today I'm going to show you how to make Loki comic book theme ears. And by comic book, with MCU, he's more like a golden green and like a leather. In the comic book, he's like yellow and green. So I chose to do the yellow and green. As you can see, I put my Loki pin in the middle. I don't suggest that for like everyone unless you have like a flat bottom pin. This pin honestly pokes me in the head a little bit. But it's still really cute, and I wanted some way to display this pin. But yeah, let's jump on into the DIY. Let's start in with what you're going to need for this DIY. You're going to need a earform. You can print one out from Google. You're going to need some foam sheets. I picked these up from Walmart for 50 cents a piece. You're going to need to cut out 4 foam earpieces. You're going to need a headband. I would love this green one, but since I'm just going to use it for home, I'm going to use this thinner one. You're going to need some green fabric and some yellow fabric. These are both fat quarters from Walmart, and some yellow ribbon that also came from Walmart. You're going to need hot glue and a hot glue gun, since this is a no-sew method. And some polyfill. So you're going to need to take your earform and trace out 4 of these ears onto your foam sheet. And then just cut them out. It's seriously the easiest thing you could ever do. And then you're going to need to take your earform and some green fabric. You're going to want to go around the earform like a little bit, that way there's excess fabric to fold onto the foam earform. It will be probably about a square of the fat quarters. The way that they fold them, it all ends up in squares. We'll use 4 squares. So then after you trace all your earforms of the fabric, you'll need to cut them all out and then start to glue the fabric onto the foam earform. As you are pressing down the fabric onto the foam, I highly suggest using these finger protectors from Dollar Tree. They come 3 for $1 in a package, and I mean, it saves you from a lot of boo-boos. But I usually work in halves. I'll do 1/2 of the earform, and then I'll do the second half. Once everything is glued down, you're going to cut in the middle of the excess fabric on the bottom. That way you can fold it over after you've stuffed it. So you're going to do it 4 times the exact way I just told you, and then start stuffing the polyform into your ears. I kind of stretch it out before I start to stuff. I would say about a handful of polyform is how much you need. I kind of can tell by eyeballing it, but you're going to want to stuff the outsides of the ears and then kind of work on its way in. Sometimes it's okay if you need a little bit more, just kind of feel it out as you go along. So now that I've filled one, I'm going to close up that ear just by applying hot glue on the bottom and then pushing the fabric onto the hot glue. And then you'll do the same for the other side and for the other 4 ears. Now that everything is glued down and ready to go, you're just going to take some hot glue and add quite a bit of hot glue into the middle and then make a sandwich, and you're going to hold the 2 pieces together until your hot glue has some time to dry. Once the middle dries, you're going to start working on the outside, and I do this in thirds because sometimes it is like you have to hold it down in order for the glue to dry properly, and you will have some excess hot glue. I just wipe it off with one of my finger protectors, but we worked on one side and then I'm going to work on the middle, and then we will work again on the other side. See here that I have one of the ears already on the headband. My camera died, so I had to wait for it to charge, so I went ahead and made one ear. So we're going to start working on the other ear to kind of show you. We're going to add hot glue onto the curved part, bottom part of the ear, and then place it onto the headband. Kind of hold it there until your hot glue dries, and then we're going to kind of cover up the outside seams and the seam by the headband. It's easier when you have a thicker headband to cover up seams, like against the headband, just kind of a tip here and there. And do work in smaller portions. Again, I do like 3 or 4 sections at a time, but I'm just going to add some hot glue and then apply a section of ribbon until it is complete. Now that the whole outer part of the ear is complete, I'm going to do the same thing to the edging along the headband. Like I said, it is a lot easier to do with a thicker headband, but because I'm not gifting these to anyone or selling them, I'm just using the thinner headband because they are cheaper. You're going to do both sides the exact same way, just add a strip of glue, and you don't have to work in sections on the seams against the headbands, but add just a strip of glue and then slowly put down the ribbon. We are going to start working on the bow, and I'm just using a fat quarter of yellow from Walmart. I'm using the squares again, and I'm going to use 4 of the squares and just cut it out all together. You see the 4 squares there, and then I'm going to hot glue down some seams, just a strip on the bottom and fold it over, and then you are going to repeat for the other side. After both your seams are glued down, you are going to add a a few lines of hot glue onto the seams and a couple in the middle, and then fold the fabric into the halfway mark. With these squares, it's like really super kind of helpful because it's easy to know where the halfway mark is, and if you don't on normal fabric, just fold it in half and make a seam. And then I'm just going to use a fan fold to finish the bow. Now let's talk the middle of the bow. I'm just going to take a little piece of the green fabric and make a middle piece to go to cover the middle part of the bow and secure it onto the headband. And I don't need a piece this big, so I'm going to do the same thing as I did and make a seam and just kind of fold it to the halfway mark. And then add glue to the other side and fold that down onto the fabric as well. To the headband, glue down a little piece of the fabric onto your bow, and then glue down the bow onto the headband, and then wrap your middle piece around the bow. To add a little piece of flair, I'm going to use this Loki pin in the middle of the bow area, but you could totally just use cut out a silhouette of Loki's horns instead. So that was it. That's how I made these ears. They're super simple, just kind of a basic like yellow and green thing going on. Not very Loki-like, but I'm going to be making some more ears that are more extravagant and like will make Loki proud. I just want to say I think next week's is going to be the TVA Loki theme, and then after that I'm going to like take my hand at trying to remake the Disney Park Loki ears. Those things are terrible. So I'm going to be doing that as well in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, stay tuned for all that. Please subscribe. Please like this video. Let me know that you like these things, and I should keep on doing it. But thank you so much for watching today, and I hope to see